Hey, it's a Wolf, and today I have fired up a brand new flat world and built the beginnings of a village because we're going to be testing some theories about how villages work, specifically around moving and combining. So, what I've done here, I've got these command blocks. This one kills the slime because, slime, annoying. This one will kill the cats, and this one will mark them. Hopefully I did that correctly. So I have also turned off the command block output so that we don't see thousands of killed slime. See? Okay, so we have these 5 here to spawn in cats, and I put this fence around here because wherever this bed is, which is 0, 0, as you can see, so the head of the bed is at 0, 0, so the center of our village will be 0, 0, and this fence around here contains the area where there will be cats spawning. So to spawn cats, we need 5 claimed beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we should start getting cats spawning in presently. Okay, so that's working now. We're going to have cats spawning in this area here. So let's have a look over here at the tool. We should have a village now up here. There we go, we've got our village here. So we just got the one village, and it goes from negative 32, 32 to negative 32, 32. So 64 block radius. Well, actually it's 65 blocks, isn't it? Because we've got 0, 0. So that means that the boundaries of this village is, so starting at this one here, so we've perfectly controlled where the center is. So the boundaries are 32 blocks in each direction. I'm going to go mark that with glowstone. So now we have this border in place. So this is the limit of the village. And we can test that by giving ourselves bad omen. Actually, I'm going to set it to peaceful so that we don't start any raids, because I don't want to have to deal with that. Oops. So we have bad omen, you can see in the top right, and as we cross this border, it goes away. And same thing over here. As soon as we cross this border, it goes away. So my first hypothesis is that if we build another village, so for starters, we haven't extended the boundaries of this village. It's still a 65 by 65. And my hypothesis is that if we build another village where the border of the village is within 32 blocks of this boundary, then, or 32 blocks or less, then it will merge with this village and become one super village. So because we have this at 0, 0, if we go to 0, 96, just to show it, let's do it at 0, 97. 0, 97. So 97's there. 97. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and we're going to build the exact same village. Alright, so we've got our 5 villages in here. We've got our 5 villages over there. We built this at 97, so if my hypothesis is correct, these 2 villages won't have combined. So let's restart this one. And sure enough, we have 2 villages. This one here is negative 32, 32, 32, 32. And this one here is same sides, and then 65, 129. So let's go put a border on that just so that we can see exactly where things are sitting. So here we go. We've got this village here, cats are spawning in the area. Got this village over here, cats are spawning in the area. Now, typically, if I move out this way, nothing's going to happen. They're not going to combine. Right, I'm out of update distance for them. So let's move back and we'll check our thing. And sure enough, we have two villages identical in all senses. So the thing here, we have a boundary here. So it goes from 32 to 65. Yeah, 65, which is 33. So we have these two villages. The boundaries are 33 blocks apart. If my hypothesis is correct, and if it's not, I know why it's not, but I'll get to that in a second. But if the boundaries of this new one, once we kill all these, break the beds, move it one further across, then they should combine. So this village over here has to stay in place. So we're not breaking both villages. I'm not going to use a command to take out the villages, which I got myself a sword. So we break these beds and put them back in one block further over. So just so that we can see where it was before, we'll put that there as the back block. Okay, so we got the beds. Let's reload and save and reload just to be double sure, because there's some issues with this not updating quite as quickly if it hasn't saved. So we should have one village and boundaries 32, 32, 32, 32. Right, good. So now we have this one here. Let's go put in our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our 5 villages. They've connected to the bed. That's good. So if my theory is correct, we should have one. We should have just built a mega village. And the way that these guys are acting makes me kind of think that that is exactly what we've done. One village, here we go, there we go, goes all the way to 96. So it goes from negative 32 to 96, which is, there's 96, yeah, so boundary is here. So that village there now extends all the way over here. So let's demonstrate that. 96 is here. So if that's the case, then standing, actually, let's repeat that experiment. We'll do the bad omen. So we've got bad omen. Remember before when I crossed this line, bad omen went away. It does not go away. And it's not going to go away until I cross this line here. Ready? There it goes. So we have a situation here. By building this bed within 32 blocks of this here, we have, notice from the spawning of the cats, we have shifted the center of the village somewhere here. Let's figure it out with coordinates. So it goes from negative 32 to 96. So doing some math, that is 128 blocks long, divided by 2 is 64, because we've essentially doubled the size there, which puts our center block right here. Let me just double check. So, yep, so X is still, the center block is going to be at 0, but we have shifted the center to this block here. Is that 0? That's now the center of the village. So instead of, so you're not going to see any cats spawning here. Let's clear that out. And sure enough, we're going to see all these spawning in here. So one thing to note with these village merging is that the original village, assuming that you're close enough, so the original village will stay original, and then the second village will actually be the one that merges. So what we've seen, if we build this village where the border of the new village is within 32 blocks of another village, then the two villages will merge into the first village. Another way of saying that is that if you build the second village 65 blocks or less away from the border of the first village, then they will merge. However, what I'm not saying is that if you build a second village within 96 blocks, I think it's 96, 95, 96. If you build it 96 blocks away from the first village, I'm not saying that. That was probably a little confusing. So the point of what I'm trying to get at is it's about the boundary of the village, not the village center. So the way we can demonstrate that is let's take out this village here. So now what I'm going to do with this, I am going to stretch the border of this village out a couple of blocks just to show you that it's not about where the center is, it's about where the border is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stretch this all the way to 40. So it's currently at 32. So let's put down workstation here. Spawn in a villager. Actually, no, we want a loom. Just because this is the... Actually, no, that's fine. Alright, so we've got one villager here. A villager who is not connected to anything, and if we put this here, he will connect to there. The reason I've got the fence is so that they don't run away because it's annoying. Alright, so I have reset it. It's now 32, and I've shifted this in here, so we'll get him connected there. And given that we've put this right on the border, and it's at 0, so let's see what that has done. As expected, hasn't changed anything. But if we were to put just one block outside, and then we'll spawn in a villager, it will change the border. So it has changed it to 32. So we can see that by moving it out, we have changed that to 32, and the Z has stayed at 32. So we can expand the border just by doing this. This guy will reconnect. You can do it one at a time. I've found that you can go, especially at the beginning, you can go a couple at a time. But just for this, because sometimes it takes a bit for them to reconnect. That's why I've got the fence here, because as soon as I break the block, they then, excuse me, actually, so this is at 39 and I want to go to 40. So once I break this one, he'll reconnect there, and then we'll get to 40. So he's connected there. So now the border is going to be at 40. So the back side has stayed at 32, and we've literally just moved it from 32 to 40. So by moving this to 40, we have shifted the center. Originally, the center was this block here, but we've moved the border 8 in that direction, so the center has moved 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that block there is the new center. Originally it was the bed. Center is now here. And if we have cats spawning, you'll start to see them spawning on the outside of this fence. Now, why is that important? So originally we built this village when we put the center here at 97, and that was far enough away. So if we were to, so we moved the center 4 blocks in this direction. So if we move 4 blocks in this direction, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we were to put this bed here, let's just, out of an abundance of caution, move it back 1 more just in case we've miscalculated something, whatever. It's not going to matter because we've got a couple blocks to play with. But remember, before we had the center here, and then if we built the village so the center was here, then it merged. But if we built it so the center was here, then it didn't merge. So if we move back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 extra just for good luck, then if it's based on distance from the center, then this shouldn't merge. So we've got that bit in there, and let's just make sure, verify. So this still goes 32 to 40. If we put a villager in, let's just spawn him in. He'll connect to this bed here, surely. There we go. So he's now connected to this village here. So this is a separate village, and we will verify that. Except, so the theory, let me step back. So the theory, if it's based on distance to the center of the village, then this should be a separate village. If it is based on distance to the border of the village, then this should be one village. So we should have built ourselves a mega village. And indeed, that's exactly what we've done. So the new Z is 102. Because we've built this here at 102. And we said the center, the original center was at 4. So that's 96. Is that right? Yeah, 96. Let's break this bed and move it back by 1. Actually, why not move it back by 2? Take out this villager just because of reasons. So let's move it back by 2. So it's right on the border here. So it was at 102, it's now at 104, which puts it 100 blocks away. So the village goes to 40. Now we've got this bed here. Now, so this is at 104, which is 100 blocks away from the center. So when we first did this, it was 97 blocks away from the center was enough to form 2 villages. We're now 100 blocks away from the center, because remember we shifted the center. And this villager here, come on, link to the bed. There we go. So he's linked to this bed here, which will have created a village that goes to 104. So this goes to 104. That's going to reset the village back over there to block 40. So the edge of the village is going to be this block 40. So what we want is 67. If we go 67 blocks away from block 40, that's going to be 107. So if we build our bed with the pillow at 107, so if we build our bed here, so now this pillow is at 107, which is 67 blocks from the border over there. So if we put our villager in here, it'll connect to this bed, hopefully. There we go. And now we should see two separate villages. And indeed, that's what we see. So we've got this one village here, which goes from 75 to 139. This village here that goes 32 to 40. That's the first village. So what can we learn from this? So whether it merges or not depends on how close the center is to the border of the village. So if you have a village that the border is stretched, either usually because you have built it out either deliberately or unintentionally, so you can have massive villages. Like I've done ones that are almost 200 blocks long, just stretch and stretch and stretch using this method here. So some of the methods that I've seen, mainly for stacking iron farms, they use beds and nighttime, which, you know, that's when the zombies are out. But this way you can do it during the day, and you're literally just breaking and placing these. So you're going to need two villages. They don't even need to be connected to any beds. So this one here, we've stretched it out a little bit, and we have demonstrated that if you do, let's do the bed one closer, there we go. So they can't, oh no, we want to break the bed first. And then take him out. So it was here. Let's put it one closer, just to show you that. So this is 106, slightly miscalculated based on that. We should be able to move it to there. So remember before we had the pillow here. So now here, pretty sure this should still create a second village, because 65 blocks, because we got 32 blocks to the border, sorry, 33 blocks to the border, and then we need to be at least 32 away, is that right? My brain's hurting at this point. I've been recording and doing this for hours. Alright, so if we put this here, let's double check, verify that, and they shouldn't combine. Let's test that theory, just to double check that I am not going crazy. It does not combine. Reason for this, yes. Okay, so that was where my miscalculation is. So I was calculating 33 blocks to the border, but I wasn't including the current one. I was calculating 33 blocks. Okay, good, that's fine. So we'll break this. So the border is at 40. So then, if we have it has to be more than 64 blocks from the border. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So then this one here, this will combine. So we had the head at 105. We've now got the head at 104. 104 is, so the border is at 40. 40 plus 64 is 104. So I'm saying this one should combine. So the hypothesis is this is 64 from the border. If they don't claim it, or claim a workstation or something like that, I find if you move out of update distance, they will claim it. So 64 blocks, I'm saying, my hypothesis is that this has created a combined village. And that is indeed what it has done. So, conclusion. If you want to combine villages, then you need to build your new village 64 blocks or closer to the old village. And easiest way to do that is to just have the bed 64 blocks from the border. How you would tell what the border is, that's going to be a little bit more difficult in survival if you haven't got the universal Minecraft tool or something like that. But if you really need it for reasons, then you can figure out where the border is either by pushing it with these. So you have your original boundary and then you just push it out with these. Even if you just have it one block further, then that'll work. So 64 blocks from here if you want to combine, 65 or more if you want them separate villages. Alright, that's it for this video. I'll shoot a video right after this with some other implications of this, but this is long enough now. I'll see you in the next one.